Okay, so a couple of firsts for me on this video. I normally don't just make a video off the cuff. I never had the intention to crap on a game. I totally enjoy talking about games I like way more than bad-mouthing them. But I played the Saga Emerald Beyond demo, and I'm just very perplexed with what I experienced. Real quick, I am not a diehard Saga fan. I've only played Saga Frontier Remastered, which I reviewed in a different video, and the Final Fantasy Legend games, mainly Legend 2. And for the most part, I've liked every Saga game I've played, and I'm very interested in the series. So if there's something I'm missing, or something I don't know about these games during this video, please tell me. I'm going to walk you through the demo as I experienced it, what thoughts and feelings I had as everything was going on, starting with the opening title. It's awesome, looks great, and the music is badass. Start a new game and you see the selection of main characters to choose from. Diva number 5 is the only playable character for the demo, so you select her, and I'm telling y'all, at this point, I'm really anxious to play this, and I'm excited to see what's in store. I'm even hyped at the Mr. S loading screen, dude. That's so cool. The game loads and we're introduced to Diva number 5, who appears to be some kind of radio DJ. I noticed the text on the screen looked very retro, like a PS1 game, which I like. And then the next scene happens and Diva's talking to this producer guy, and what is with his character model? The hair and goatee just look like crap, as if it doesn't belong on this model at all. I mean, look at Diva. She looks fine, so why does this dude look so fucking weird? They talk briefly and then Diva goes into a car with a guy named Constantine. This is where I start noticing that the color on these character models look really off. As if someone went into Photoshop, duplicated the layer, and then used some weird blending option. All the models have these colors on their borders, like someone cut them out of a different picture. And Constantine looks like he has 8 pounds of foundation on his face. So they're talking, and we get a peek at the overworld, I guess? We have some 3D models with 2D pop-up book looking locations. Okay, that's not bad. I mean, I don't know why they didn't just make everything 3D, but it's fine. Then Diva goes to a music library and holy cow, what the hell is that? Nah, this can't be real. This can't be an actual NPC in this game. He looks like a low-budget Monopoly guy. What is going on with that mustache? Who the fuck designed this dude? Diva then starts listening to music and a selection of tracks play until she finds a song that catches her ear. I don't know if you have noticed, but everything has been still images so far. Is that really how they wanted to open this game? In Saga Frontier, you had stuff happening. There was action that happened quickly. You had cool scenes to look at. So far, this has just been a visual novel. Diva decides to sing a song on a radio show, which then violates some law that the song is forbidden. So she gets her memory erased. She now feels like an empty shell with no heart, and decides to transfer herself to a different robot. Constantine comes along and says he'll help her regain her memories as well as her heart, and invites Diva to join his crew. Now, I'm not going to criticize the dialogue itself or the story. As from my limited experience, Saga stories aren't really fleshed out super well. All I'll say is the demo story feels like a basic SNES or early PS1 era RPG story. Not a lot is explained and you're just supposed to go with it, and I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is that for the first 20 minutes of this game, it's all just been still images of cheap looking character models talking. Like I mentioned before, it feels like a visual novel. Now I'm not saying that's bad, but it's definitely not for me. Why couldn't it just be in-game talking in scenes like in the older games? I mean, this is a Square title after all. Telling the story this way just makes it feel, once again, really cheap considering what developer this game is coming from. So you finally get to move around at the Junction, which is the area where you can travel to different worlds. This part looks great. The character model is awesome, the environment looks cool. It makes me wonder why the whole game just doesn't look like this from the start. Okay, I walk down the path, enter the portal, and fuck, more talking. Okay, like I know I'm playing an RPG. There's gonna be a lot of dialogue, there's gonna be like a grand story told. But for me, it's really important that you balance dialogue and talking and story with actual gameplay. Because the first 30 minutes of this game, all I've done is walk down a hallway. Like, you know, like in Final Fantasy VII, how that game starts, you get a cutscene, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're in a fight. Like, it throws you into actually playing the game right away, and then throughout that first opening bombing mission, there's a great balance between dialogue and combat. That's a great way to start an RPG, in my opinion. This place is basically a tutorial world. You can do side quests for people and go through some combat trials. Then we get to what I can only guess is the game's version of an overworld. Well wait, what happened to the third person perspective? Why doesn't it look like how it did in the corridor? Whatever, it's not terrible, it actually looks fine. The quest paths lead you to these glowing flashcards and more talking. I guess these are NPCs to talk to. Why aren't there character models? Why are they just glowing squares? And there's more cheap looking character models and more talking. Can I just play the game? These 3 sections give you side quests which are on the lower level of the world. You take this elevator and that's odd. Did the game just have to load? The lower level is already right there. Oh, and it doesn't have to load when you go back up, you just instantly get teleported back to the top floor? Well, that's really weird. And look at this area, reminds me of the Omega Virus board game. Like I said, you get side quests, some involve fighting, and some involve these puzzles called writgrams, which are basically just put the correct shape in the space, or take out the correct shape. Odd choice, but whatever, it's not really anything interesting. I did one side quest, and then just decided to go straight for the combat trials, and finally, something amazing about this game. The combat is fucking awesome. Just like with Saga Frontier, you pick your actions before each combat round starts in a turn-based style. But in this game, there's a BP bar. Each action has a set amount of BP that can be used and is shared throughout the entire party. So you have to plan who attacks and who will defend. The max amount of BP you can use increases each combat round, so you'll be able to do more damaging attacks as the fight goes on. There's also a combo system, which I'm also familiar with from Saga Frontier. Each action highlights a bar on a combat timeline. You line up your party with each other and they'll do a combo attack. But be careful because the enemies can as well. So sometimes you may have to sacrifice a big combo and get in between enemies to prevent them from performing a combo attack. This is just the bee's knees. There's a great level of strategy and thinking you have to do each combat round, and it keeps the combat interesting the entire fight. And to top it off, everything looks awesome. The characters look awesome, the attack effects look awesome, and the monsters look awesome. Well, what the fuck happened with the rest of the game? Did all the budget just go into the combat system? It kind of reminds me of Legend of Legaia on the PS1, where you have a pretty good looking combat system, and the rest of the game kind of looks hella average. Alright, I continue to do more side quests and I get the flow of what's going on, so it's time to leave this place and go to other worlds. So it's back to the junction and now I have multiple places to go. So I decide to go right and... What the fuck? What the fucking shit is this background? This crap looks like it was made in Flash back in the early 2000s. This is a game by Square Enix. And someone looked at this and said, yeah, it's fine. Did someone's kid make this? It looks cheap as hell. What's going on? Is it just an image holder because it's a demo? The other backgrounds didn't look this shitty. And look, I know a game is more than its graphics. I mean, I play old school arcade and NES games all the time and I think they look great. But this is fucking amateur hour. So you get past this scene and you get to explore the overworld and it looks almost just as bad. Cheap ass 3D trees, pop-up buildings that you can't go into, but your character model looks fine. And why can't I explore these buildings? I just get some small text blurb telling me what it is. This is an RPG, I want to go in there. This is when I discovered that there's no normal exploration like in most RPGs. It's just some cheap looking game board where you just follow lights and go where the game tells you to. And this is where I stopped playing. I have serious questions for Saga fans. And I'm not trying to be funny, I'm dead fucking serious. Has it always been this bad? Have there been some huge injustices happening to this franchise and just not that many people know about it? Does Square just not care about Saga? Is this what you want? The visual novel style, fine, whatever, I can get over that. But this I won't accept, this I won't accept, and God, get this off the screen. You know, this game has some awesome artwork. Why can't they get the artist to just draw all the character portraits in the game? It would look way fucking better. This demo is an awesome combat system covered in dog shit. Sorry, not sorry, This game feels absolutely cheap as hell, and I kind of feel like Square should be ashamed of themselves for squandering such a fun, turn-based combat system. I have no clue what they're thinking with this. But you know what's the most bullshit about all this? Is how absolutely fucking misleading the trailers are for this game. They showed all this great artwork, flashy 3D combat and models, and you get a little glimpses of some dialogue interactions. You know what it doesn't show you? This. And this. It's as if they know it's ass and they're trying to hide it. After playing the demo, I had to do some research on the game and noticed that it's also going to be released for iOS and Android. So, is this a mobile game ported to PC and console? I can't confirm that, but it would make sense if it was true. Sometimes games come along that you're interested in and excited for, and you get let down. It happens. And for me, ain't no way this game is worth $50. Maybe $20 tops. I don't recommend buying this game at launch, and I'd just wait for a sale if you really want to play it. But hey, if you like the demo and this is what you want and you can't wait to play the full game, then more power to you. I hope you enjoy it. Have you played the Saga Emerald Beyond demo? What did you think of it? Feel free to share your thoughts. Thank you for watching.